Radio Zero.
Radio Zero with Rick and Rose. Oh, I just got Poster Children is live on the air Friday, March 27th at 5:05 p.m. Central Standard Time, I think it is. I don't think it's daylight time.
Criminy. We're live streaming on Facebook on the Radio Zero page and Poster Children page, on Twitch at PCJCUSA, and on the Poster Children YouTube channel, typically every other Friday at 5 p.m., but it's been 3 Fridays, I think. You had Rose was sick last week. Couldn't talk. You can subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts. I already said that. Go to radiozero.us. You can patronize us at patreon.com/radiozero. Thanks to all our Patreon donors. Now I've got a cough.
And we're here. Well, you had the cough first. We're taking calls from the audience or texts from the audience. So, if you have any questions for us, go ahead and just write them in the chat, and we'll answer them because we know everything. All right. So you were just talking about the couple of things that we've done since we last did a Radio Zero, and one was Trump on money. No, you didn't. I know you didn't say that.
I didn't bring that up.
We saw the David Byrne extravaganza.
Yeah.
No mind, one mind. What was it? Nowhere is everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know what it was.
It was
called.
Oh my gosh. I think.
It's
a beautiful mind.
No. It's experiential theater piece.
Immersive theater piece.
But also experiential, not just immersive.
That's right. We experienced it and we were immersed in it. And
because you actually did. It wasn't just immersive. It was you were doing things.
You were participating in it. Yeah. The more with all this, with 3 weeks away from it now, it wasn't that bad. But I was just like, I don't know. I was completely unimpressed. What about you?
Why don't we talk a little bit about what it is?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
It's
okay.
like talking about a TV show that someone hasn't seen.
Yeah.
It's like,
so, spoiler alert. Yeah, this is going to be spoiler alert, so you don't go.
It's theater to the mind. That's
theater of the
called.
mind.
This is kind of funny.
That is funny. So you go to this. You have to go there. You have to be there 45 minutes early or something, right?
No, we were just 45 minutes early.
We were 45 minutes early. Okay, but we were supposed to be there at least 15 minutes early to get acclimated, right? I remember that. And what were we doing?
I don't think it was. I think it was just they want you to get. They don't want people showing up right at their time.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't think that's really important to the whole experience.
Well, all right. So. And it was like in a little theater near the Goodman Theater, like a warehousey type.
Yeah, warehouse space.
Warehouse.
So built a bunch of sets within a warehouse space.
So they told us, to get us acclimated, they told us there was like a little bar there, which probably if we were drinking people, we probably should have had some drinks and we probably would have been blown away. And then there were lockers because for the next 45 minutes... we have a cough button. For the next 45 minutes of the show, you weren't allowed to go to the bathroom, and you weren't allowed to have your phone, and you weren't allowed to have any kind of electronic thing on you because there was a time when it was going to be pitch black, and you needed your eyes to acclimate to the blackness. And if somebody's watch had gone off or their phone, somebody was bored and looking at their phone, that would have ruined the experience. So we had to lock our phones in a locker.
And we weren't told that ahead of time. The whole thing about the light, it was just don't lock away your phone and smartwatch.
Yeah. So
anything glowing.
Yeah, yeah. So was that? Were you like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to get rid of my phone?
No, but it did say, one of the things it said on the site or whatever was that there's also, sensory experiences, including taste, and so I was super worried about what they were going to make me eat. It turned out okay, but it was like that was more what I was worried about, not just not putting my phone in a locker. Yeah, that's not a problem. It was what are they gonna, like, what's gonna happen? Like, so it was kind of just pitched as a, sort of mix of science and story and sort of perceptual experiences that'll modify your perception. So I thought, okay, well, this will be interesting.
And then
but
we
then the food thing, the taste thing, I was just like, ooh, I don't know if I want to. I mean,
And then
are
they
they going to
said
be
you-
touching us? Are they
Yeah.
going to be farting? Is there going to be smells? And then it's like they're going to make me eat something. So that was what worried me.
That didn't worry me at all. Why would you like? Why would they give us anything weird? And plus, it's like theater people, so it's not even going to be meat.
Yeah. Why would it's theater people? Why would they give us anything weird?
Yeah,
And
well,
it's supposed to be a experiential thing, and your senses are gonna be altered, right?
yeah,
And it's like, okay.
yeah. And
So why would it be anything weird? Already that sounds weird.
So that's funny to me that you were that you were worried about that. I think I thought you were kind of joking about that, but you were worried that they're going to give you like what kind of weird thing?
I don't
Would
know.
you-
It was just like what, like yeah, like where it's like, here, put this thing in your mouth, right? I mean,
guess,
that's a little
yeah.
weird.
Could have been like an electric shock. That I wouldn't have liked that. I don't like the.
I
Electric
mean, like
shocks.
if you went to a show or a theater performance and somebody gave you like a jiggly, kind of like Jello-like cube to eat, I mean, would you be like, oh yeah, You'd be
Yeah,
like,
if
"Ugh."
I paid, how much did we pay for those tickets? If I paid money, yeah, for sure I would do that. Plus, like if it was anything really weird, they'd have to tell you about it. In fact,
They did. They said it's not. It won't be allergenic, or it's whatever. Anyways.
if you were diabetic, you'd have a problem eating that. Anyway, okay, all right. So we're sitting in the little alcove waiting for Bob to come pick us up, right? It was going to be Bob that was going to pick us up and was going to be our guide
No.
through the whole thing.
It was Jay.
Jay. Okay.
And so
Jay,
right?
Yeah,
and then,
probably.
And I was like, I imagined, it's going to be a woman. And
Yeah,
then
me too.
everybody else was like, it's going to be a guy. And then it was like when Jay showed up, like everybody was like, oh, you could hear him muttering, oh,
Yeah, I
Jay's
knew it was
a-
a woman too.
she's a woman. And I
Yeah.
was like, why? And
Why would
it
you
was-
even-
Why would I?
yeah.
Why would I assume it was I don't know. Maybe the way they said it, but it was like, anyways. But then Jay wasn't really there at all.
Jay was there to help the people who freaked out of the room and stuff. Like
So was
people-
Jay around when we did the whole thing, like hovering in the background or something?
Yeah, because
I
when
never
the person
saw.
had to leave, with the
Yeah,
flashing,
that
Jay
was
came
right at
out, or
the-
somebody came out.
That was right at the
Yeah.
beginning. I didn't see Jay at all during the
Yeah.
thing. Anyways,
So all right, so then we get to go in, and I don't know what the kids. I don't know if we had our kids with us too. Like
and
our,
it was explained. David Byrne, over and over again. David Byrne will not be here. David Byrne will not be part of this performance.
Yeah. Okay. And so also they had programs, and I was reading the program beforehand. It said this was all scientifically researched. And when they use the words scientific and research together, it's not. It's like, it's like garbage. But I was like, oh man, scientifically researched, huh? And so then anyway, they took us in. So what was the first place? Yeah, they took us in to like a little alcove or a little room that had house windows all around it, right? And then they gave us our name tags, and we all had name tags, and the names were all interesting names. They weren't like Bob and Jerry and Mary and stuff like that.
And they weren't our names.
And they weren't our names. That's right. There were other names. So you had to put on your name tag, and then
Who were
went.
you?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember. I was something like Mora, but it wasn't Mora.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Some name like that. A name with an M and lots of vowels, but not Mora.
Somebody was Diego. I might have been Diego.
Hmm.
I think I was Diego. Yeah. So anyway, then you walk in, and then you're in a funeral home, and is it David that's dead? David is dead.
Well, it's a piano, and then all
Oh,
of a
yeah.
sudden, the top of the piano opens up, and a person.
A lady pops out and says, "Hello, I'm David." And then I'm dead, and here are all. And then she's acting, and she's like, "Diego, I missed you. You're at my funeral. I'm so happy." And then she's like very happy that all these people are at her funeral. Oh, we also had like a little thing.
And when you say her, but she's David Byrne.
She's David Byrne, yes,
Yeah.
but she wasn't. She was a like a person that
And
didn't
there's
look
a
anything like
picture
David
of David Byrne as like a 5 or 6 year old
Yeah.
wearing a goofy little outfit, and then she's kind of dressed like a child.
It's like I'd
David
say like
Byrne.
a 30-year-old Asian woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So didn't look like David Byrne at all. But she pops out.
But she was, or
Yeah,
she
she
was
was.
talking as him.
Yeah. So that, I mean, I was like, oh, that's nice. But then and we all, on our cards, it said that, like on my card, it said that I worked with her at, what was it? Like, Discount
her.
Wellness. Or at Discount Wellness. I worked with David at Discount Wellness. And she's like, Diego, don't you remember? We used to work at Discount Wellness together. Remember these statues? They had them there. And I was like, I can't wait to find out what Discount Wellness was. That's going to be cool. But it was never mentioned again. And then she was like, oh, Horatio, you're here too. Are you happy to be here? And like Horatio's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, good. And then she said a bunch of stuff. I don't remember what she said. Do you remember anything about that part?
The funeral part?
Yeah.
No, it was kind of, I guess, introductory, talking about talking about memory and people leaving and disappearing.
Yeah,
and
that was the thing. She's like, oh, Horatio, you disappeared out of my life, but you're back. And then like if I was Horatio, I'd be like, I'm so sorry, David. And then what was the next thing?
there was a pillar off to the side and a green and white tiled floor.
Oh my God, yeah, green and white tiled floor and a pillar casting a shadow. And I was like, oh, green and white tiled floor with a pillar casting a shadow. And I was like looking at the shadow, and I was like, that they're gonna. I hope they don't, but they're gonna tell us that look, the green, which tiles are darker and which are lighter. And then she's like, let me turn up the light, and she turned on the light, and then the shadow was still there. And she's like, which tile do you think is darker? Do you think do you think this one's darker than this one? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like it's the optical illusion where the tiles are the same color. She's like, who thinks that? Oh no, there was also a note too. She played a note on the piano.
Oh yeah.
The first one, she played 2 notes. Which note do you think is higher? And like, I guess Dow is sitting near me, and he's like, that one, because we both are close to having perfect pitch. Did you have the right note too?
Yeah. Well,
but they played.
I mean,
2,
you're saying the right note.
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
was whether or not it went up or down between the 2 notes.
But
and
they
some
played
people,
2. Yeah, they
Yes.
played. There was a harmonic, so you could have heard the harmonic. So both answers were right. And so that was the thing, is that, isn't it neat that some people thought it was one way and some people thought it was the other? And then we walked into the room with the tiles, and she's like, who thinks this tile is darker? And I'm like looking to see, are you people, who's gonna go, who thinks they're different colors? And like pretty much everybody except for you, like our family, was like that one's darker. And she's like, watch this. And she like puts them together, and like they're the same color. And people gasp. And I'm like gasping too, because I'm like, wow, did you people not go on the internet like 5 years ago? Like that was really weird. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to be a weirdo. That's when I was thinking, oh shit, I'm going to be a weirdo, and everybody else is going to love this. And this is going to be like, stupid. Did you feel like that at that point? What were you thinking during that part?
I wasn't as extreme as you, I guess. I was just like, oh yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah. And then what? So what was next? Then we go into another room, and that was the room with your art project, right? So we go into the next room, and everybody sit down facing away from the center, and there's like a little red light in the room. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be the room that's pitch black. And so they said, before we start, is anybody going to have a problem if we flash like a really bright light in your eyes? And like one person like had earphones on already, like sensory deprivation earphones on. So it was obviously she was not going to be able to handle it. So they had to take her out of the room. Right. And then they're like, what was it? They're like, look at your hand in front of your face and watch. It was like this theme was that somebody could disappear, right? But they'd still be burned into your memory or something.
I think it was also about memory being or what you see kind of stays in your eye, like you're not seeing like constant, I guess, I don't know, like kind of frames
Ephemeral.
things. Yeah.
Is this going to be a problem that I have a candy in my mouth?
It
I'll try
actually
not
is.
to.
It's
Okay.
It's like
I won't click.
stabbing me in the head.
Yeah.
The mouth noises through
So-
my headphones.
Okay. So Rick a long time ago had this art project where you walk into he made this photo booth, and you go in the photo booth and you sit there, and the camera flashes a bright light in your eye, and it flashes a bright light with like a screen in front of it, which is a picture of the person who was there before you. Is that the most beautiful? It's the most beautiful artwork I've ever heard of in my life. One of the most beautiful artworks. So that's what they did, though. They had mirrors, and you're supposed to hold the mirror in front of you, and then they did the flash, and you saw your face. You know, the first thing they did was flash with your hand in front of your face. And people were like, "Oh my God, I see my hand." And I was like, "Oh my God, they're doing Rick's project."
To actually explain, so we sat in the dark for 5 minutes. Our eyes acclimated to the dark. Did you say that? I don't think you said that.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah. And so we sat in there for well, actually, how long do you think we've been in here?
Oh my God.
3 minutes? No. 7. We did that. That was a little weird.
Yeah, we were making fun for so long after that.
I don't know if I was, but anyways, yeah. So yeah, you sit in the dark. Your eyes, your eyes just they don't even acclimate. It's just completely pitch black, and then they flash a light, and you see your hand burned into your vision, and then you hold up a mirror in front of your face, and they flash a light again, and you see your face. Or for me, I saw the lower half of my face because I didn't have my mirror up in the right position. Oh, and then the last one, we turned around and everybody looked at across the room at each other, and then they flashed it, and you could see everybody in the room, burned into your retina for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, and that that was cool, but I was like, I worried that you felt bad because they stole your art project.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's not stolen.
But were you happy? Oh, somebody else did my art project.
I think my project was different. It was a little, not as self-centered, I guess.
Huh. Yeah. It was other person-centered. Anyway, it was a great art project. So then we went into the next room. The next room was the sugar room, right? Yeah, somebody just said sugar on your tongue. That's a Talking Heads song, right?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So I walked into the gift shop before we did anything, and they had like T-shirts, books, and then they had these sugar cubes. So that kind of ruined that for me. So we walked into this. They're like astronaut candy sugar cubes, right? Like strawberry flavored, make your life sweeter or something like that. So we walked into that, and then there was like a spinning disco ball, which was a little bit disconcerting to me.
It was like a club, like a dance club.
Yeah.
So each of these rooms, had a different kind of look, and it was a set, and it was a disco, basically black painted walls, and then spinning lights, and
she was
a DJ booth.
Yeah, she was the DJ.
Yeah.
And then, go on.
No, you
she gave everybody. She said something about people disappearing from your life. Again, Like this is like some kind of homage to somebody who disappeared from David Byrne's life, and he's pissed off at them, I guess, or he's trying to work with it.
I think
Or
it's just somebody reflecting, through through their past and people who have, come
Right.
in and out of their lives.
Okay, well, so then she's like, if you want to try this, come over here and try this strawberry candy. And so everybody came forward, and you had a strawberry candy, and it was kind of like a Starburst, but it was like chalky, so it coated your mouth, right? With sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And then she did the thing about, then wasn't it then that they did like a spinning thing where people's faces disappeared?
Yeah, you'd stand, half of the audience would stand up against, it was a round room, stand up against the outside walls or the outer wall, and then half the audience would stand in kind of this middle round column in a circle. And then you'd watch, the lights would spin around, and you'd stare at these masks that were on the wall between the people standing against the wall. And then the people standing against the wall kind of disappeared because of the way the lights were flickering.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it didn't work for me. But did it work for you?
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then afterwards, they're like, maybe you're sad, but do you want to know what a lemon tastes like? Come on over here and have a lemon. And so then they gave us all like a little thing of lemon, and you all bit into the lemons, and everybody was like, oh my God, it tastes sweet now.
Yeah. So it was the whatever that berry is that can override the sour taste buds or whatever they are. And so, the lemons tasted sweet.
Well, to me, the lemon tastes exactly the way lemons always taste.
Well,
that was
okay,
really
well,
weird.
that's weird, because
Yeah.
to me, it tasted like lemonade. It tasted sweet, like
Yeah.
lemons always taste with sugar on them.
Yeah.
It didn't taste like a tart lemon.
Hmm.
But it didn't work on you?
Lemons taste really good to me, usually.
No, I'm not talking about good or bad. I'm talking about like tart. It wasn't tart. Or was it tart? It was like, ooh.
No.
It was sugary, right?
I guess, yeah.
So that's not
Yeah.
not what a lemon tastes like.
All right. Well.
That's what a lemon with sugar on it tastes like, but they didn't put any. The lemon didn't have sugar on it. It was the weird berry thing we ate overrode the sugar.
Yeah, and oh God, I just got electrocuted. I just got a shock. So when I reflected back on that, I was thinking that that's actually like the Buddhist concept of like you can't stop the lemons. You can't protect.
You can't protect the lemons.
You can't get rid of all the lemons in the world, so you have to coat your mouth with leather or strawberry, so that when you eat the lemon, it doesn't, like you're coating your feet with leather, right? And so you can protect
I think Buddha was a little high when he came up with that one. Somebody asked how much were the tickets. $65.
Wow. Well, that was worth it though. It was good.
Oh, that was the thing, is like the first, like the little room that we walk into at the beginning, it was like the first thing I whispered was Haunted Mansion. It felt like when you walk into that first room in the Haunted Mansion ride, and I thought, if the ceiling, gets higher and the walls stretch, then I would be upset, because it would be like, oh, this is just Haunted Mansion, but it didn't. That didn't happen.
That would have been too expensive.
But it had that kind of vibe. It had a little bit of it. So it was kind of like a little bit like a Disney Haunted Mansion kind of vibe, where you're walking through and things are happening.
It was very Disney. So then the next room was...
I don't think it was very Disney. It was a little bit like
very
that.
amusement parky. Yeah, it was like an amusement park. It was like Santa's Village, but it was David Byrne's Village. So then we went... What was next? That I think it was the house. Like, so then we went into like, it looked like a house, like the outside of a house.
Backyard.
Yeah, the backyard. And it's like, I remember, this is like, the whole story was, I remember my either mom was a drunk or my dad was a drunk. Was an alcoholic.
I don't remember that.
Oh,
but
my
yeah.
dad used to have us do something But then, but then it turned out that he was always tired or he was drunk or something. Here, put on these goggles, and they were like drunk goggles, the goggles that you're supposed to put on.
I don't remember the drunk thing.
Yeah, there was a. It was something about like the story led you to believe that the child found out that their parent was an alcoholic or something.
Huh.
Was drinking a lot, and then you had to put these goggles on, and then try to toss washers into a can.
Well,
It was very hard to
he
do.
was talking about how his dad would invent these games for birthday parties and stuff, and so it was like a game. Everybody stood in a circle, and there was a bucket, and you had washers, and you'd try to throw the washers into the bucket, and so we did that, and you got used to it, and you learned how to get a washer in one bucket, right? Get it, fill this bucket with washers, tossing them from a distance. And then you put on the goggles, which messed up your vision, like it skewed everything. And so I was thinking that they probably originally it would have been maybe doing the flip, where if you wear glasses that flip the world upside down, your vision upside down, after a while your brain will all of a sudden turn the image back around, because actually in your brain what gets projected on your retina is upside down, right? And so your brain already flips that information, but then if you put on glasses that flip it again, I guess, and then your brain after a while goes bloop and fixes it. But they probably couldn't do that because people would get super freaked out, right? And fall
Maybe.
over.
Yeah.
And so it was just, the goggles just kind of warped your vision. And then, you had to throw washers into the bucket and you kept missing. It was like, I can't, because your aim is all off because your vision is warped by these goggles. But then you practice and then you figure out, you kind of start getting used to it. And then you can, I have to throw off this way to get it to go in the bucket. And then they had us take off the goggles and then throw stuff in the bucket again, washers. And it was like, because your eyes you had been rewired, then you couldn't get it in the bucket again when you had normal vision back, because your brain was kind of still skewed. And then after a while you could start getting it in the bucket again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And then the next, for me, wasn't because my arm was hurting, so I couldn't throw it.
Ow!
Yeah.
Ow!
It was terrible.
That was you?
Yeah.
The woman in
Yeah.
the back who just kept saying.
And then we had to sit down. Why did
Ow!
we sit down on the porch and then the lighting went to darkness, right?
Yeah, was there a
And then
story?
there was some kind of story. And then that was more like my dad something. And
It
then,
was like they were going to buy a house or something, and then
Yeah.
he came home one day crying, and they weren't going to buy a house. Or
Yep.
I don't know, it was
Yep,
weird.
that's what it was.
So
yeah.
that's the alcoholic thing. I thought it was all about his dad, starting to drift into dementia. I mean, that.
It could have been that too. Yeah, I don't know where I got the alcohol thing, but there were like weird hints. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
Dad would come home and he would be in dementia. And then we went in. Then the next thing was going into the house, and the house was very big, like the kitchen. We went in the house, and there's a kitchen room, and everything is very, very large. So that was nice. That was like a set where
Like,
you were a tiny
The
little
Incredible
kid.
Shrinking Man.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, and there was a table with like some kind of Fruit Loops or something on it, right?
Oh,
And-
and there's going to be there's the Incredible Shrinking Woman, right? And then there was the Lily Tomlin Incredible Shrinking Woman. Now it looks like there's going to be a new series coming out of, what is it called? Shrunken Wife or something like that. But it has super famous people in it, where it's like the guy from Succession, Tom Wamsgans.
Oh wow, everybody loves him.
He's the husband who accidentally shrinks his wife, and then I can't remember who the wife is. What's her name? The one who directed Cocaine Bear? I think it might be her. Anyways, go on.
And that was like there was a puppet, right? And then he was talking about something. I can't remember what that was.
There's a giant TV dinner, and then his mother left him at home because she would go to her art classes,
Oh, that's right.
and he panicked and ran to the neighbor's house, and then embarrassed his mother because it was like, what's your problem? You know, and he was scared, and so there's some kind of problem.
Yeah,
with that.
and then she always used to be in the attic painting, but
Right.
you know, it was like she was in the attic painting. I don't know what
She
that was all about.
Never around, right?
She was never around. She was
She's
in the
always
attic
going to
painting.
art classes and
Yeah.
up in the attic, you know, being an artist,
Yeah, but he, you know, she said
Which
she
is-
was an artist.
which I mean, she was a woman. She shouldn't have been doing that.
I
And a
guess, yeah.
mother.
Yeah. So
Um,
and then
There
wha-
there was the little scene where you're like doing the security camera stuff, and
oh God, I forgot about
was,
that.
That was
yeah.
good.
Yeah. That was like, you know, you're watching a security camera and they tell you how, you know, they tell you to count how many times that people pass the ball back and forth and a bear goes behind it. But it was just like that, but it was something else. Like they changed.
It just kept
the scene,
changing, but
yeah.
you didn't notice it,
Yeah. Very,
and
very,
like it was going.
very subtly.
What was it? It was like a slow frame rate kind of
Yep.
thing.
It was
and
like once a
and
second.
slowly things were changing
Yeah.
within it, and then it was like at the end, it was like, how many things changed? Did you notice anything changing? And it was like somebody was like, that tree, and then they rewind it, and it's like, yeah, like 40 things have changed in
Yeah.
this street view and over the time. And yeah, for me, I was just like, I don't think I noticed anything
Yeah, I didn't
except
either.
the big pink sign. Yeah, once the big pink sign went away, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you'd be a bad security camera
Yeah.
person, and then and the thing, like, there were people sitting at computers in that room, and I was like more interested in. I was like, what are they doing? Do we get to go over and see what they're doing?
No, they're watching us.
Yeah, they're watching us.
It was kind of part of the control
Yeah.
system, the Westworld control room.
See, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
All right, so then we went into the kitchen, and then after we went through the cubby hole in the kitchen, and then we were in the attic, right?
Yeah.
And then we experienced VR.
But the attic was great. I mean, the sets were great.
Like, yeah, the
like
sets were
it
great.
smelled like an attic, right? So they had and it looked, I mean, it was like wood and everything, and I'm assuming they used, you know, reclaimed wood, old wood, because it had that total smell and everything like that, and had a bunch of his mother's weird paintings.
Yeah, and
So that
then-
part was good.
yeah,
I thought.
yeah,
You know,
the-
it was interesting to
yeah.
see her weird paintings.
Yeah, that was cool. And he was like, wow, it turns out my mom really was an artist after all. But the VR was David pretending to cut our hair. So like jabbing a scissor, like you put the VR helmet on and then you have these little marionette
And that was a
legs.
funny moment, actually. So you
Yeah.
go into this big attic space. There's painting his mom's weird paintings all around, and then there were 16 lounge chairs or like
Yeah.
chairs, and
Yeah.
there was like a passing and actually, yeah. So that was the thing, is the little puppet David was narrating also
Yeah.
was talking, and he said, "My parents had a lot of chairs," and then it was like, that's not true. I realized he's just making a comment that we go up into this attic, but then there are also 16 chairs in
Right.
the attic, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like,
Oh, I heard you kind of giggle about
yeah,
that.
it
Yeah.
was like, oh, it
And they're
was
like,
a joke.
Yeah. Pick a chair.
A joke.
Yeah. Pick a chair and sit down and put the VR helmet on. And my VR helmet was like greasy. And I got sick after that. But when you put the VR helmet on and then you see like marionette, you see the doll's legs sticking in front of you, so you're kind of like stuck there. That was an eerie feeling, you know, because your legs are not there. You're the doll and you're kind of trapped in that chair. And then she's like jabbing scissors at you, pretending to cut your hair, and you're supposed to be You're
And
supposed
by
to be
she,
scared.
it's
David.
the
Oh, yeah.
the actor who is portraying David Byrne.
Yeah. And so that was the gag for the VR part. It's just like, I'm gonna cut your hair with these big scissors.
And some people were upset,
Yeah,
like her going out.
yeah,
But, yeah, I just like the little lie. Like, so she must have gone off into a side room, and then is just kind of like performing to the VR, the VR cameras.
yeah. You thought
and
it
you're
was
in that
live.
little box. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was live.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were doing it live.
Okay.
And yeah, and she's, you feel, it's also kind of like the Incredible Shrinking Woman thing, or Incredible Shrinking Man.
Yeah, 'cause she's giant.
She's giant. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're in this VR space, and you're
Yeah.
the kind of puppet sitting in a little chair, and it's a big VR bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's childhood bedroom.
So that was like 1 or 2 minutes, and then we're done with that. And then wasn't there like what else happened after? Oh, I realized that my mom didn't really leave me. She was just an artist. And then, all right, now we get to walk out. And then wasn't that the end?
I think so.
Yeah, and then we walked out. And then you end up back in the room where you get your name tags, and they're like, okay, put your name tags back, please, and then find your name on this card, on a
Your
card
real
there,
name.
your real name, because there's a secret message for you. And that was, I was like, oh, I wonder what that's going to be. And then they did say, my favorite part of the whole thing, I think, is they said, are you in a different place than you were before? And I was like, yeah, I'm standing in this other place, because you were like, you just went through this with 16 people. And I was standing in a different place. So I thought that was kind of funny. But then when we got out, we all read our little cards, and they all said the exact same thing.
We didn't get a special message.
I mean, at least they could have had 16 different messages,
Yeah.
But I guess, use AI. Come on. Make 16 different messages. So, and then we walked out, and then we were just we were laughing, we were like, oh my God, who do they think we are? Like the kids were like, how long do you think we've been sitting waiting at this table? 7 minutes. But it was good. It was good. And then you said the thing about true stories, and then I was like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Like, so, yeah, having watched True Stories again a while ago, because I did that, what was it, 1 minute movie, or the podcast where people go through a minute of a movie, and True Stories, and I watched it, and it was like True Stories. He's kind of David Byrne's like a guide, like he talks to the camera sometimes, and then he talks to the people, and then kind of guided story, and it was like, oh wow, yeah, it is similar.
Yeah, I felt bad after a while, like poo-pooing it so badly.
Well, yeah, and so for me, it was more like, well, the experiential stuff. I knew, we're going to be going into rooms and experiencing things, and they were going to mess with our minds and stuff, and scientific stuff. I didn't realize there was going to be this personal narrative, and so that was a little weird to me, where it was kind of like it's interesting, but it's kind of him talking about his parents and giving his displaying his mother's artwork, and talking about his friends and thing, people leaving, and I felt like there was just not quite enough connection. And this was the thing, is something happened, like we've experienced some other entertainment that doesn't quite connect now, and I remember what it is now. Train Dreams. We watched Train Dreams before the Oscars. That Train Dreams movie, you remember, where it's like a Terrence Malick movie, and what's his name? Yeah, it's a lumberjack or whatever. And
oh my God!
It's all his life and everything like that, and then it's like going through the story of his life, and not much happens, but it's like he doesn't know where his place is, and he's questions his existence, and is he cursed and everything like that, and then at the end of the movie, he takes a plane ride, see. And
he goes upside down. It was like I think that happens in the world according to Garp. I think.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he knows where his place is.
Yeah, he figures it out. Like what the meaning of everything is, and where he's and the narrator says that, and then I'm like, what? Yeah, but what did he figure out? Like, and he figured it out flying in an airplane, doing a loop to loop, and it was like had all of the elements of profundity, right? Was profound, like in a Terrence Malick movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the narrator's talking about war, and like, why is violence just a natural part
is violence a natural part of our existence?
Reading the poem
I
or
don't
something
know.
But it's like I felt like in a Terrence Malick movie, I make a connection to what's going on, and I feel like I'm the existential and the philosophical stuff. I feel like I'm I don't know if I'm learning something, but I feel like there's a connection, to what I'm seeing, and I'm getting that. Whereas,
in the Train Dreams movie, it was just like
it was all the pieces are there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got the narration, but it's like, and then he figured out where he was in his life, and then or where he fit in the world. You know why? What? And it was like, well, what did he figure out? Like, is
How
it
did he
that,
figure it out?
Yeah, and then what is it he actually figured out? And it was just because he was flying upside down in an airplane and laughing, you know. And it's like, you tell me this thing, but I didn't I didn't feel it, and I didn't understand. It's
It
not
was
that I.
so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
So the David Byrne thing kind of
Yeah.
felt that way too, where it was like you're connecting these scientific kind of phenomena, right, or these perceptual kind of weird phenomena, and then it's like connecting it to a personal stories, but it didn't quite.
it was like lazy writing. They didn't follow through.
I
Just
don't know
the
if
same
it was.
thing that
I don't know if it was lazy writing. It's
just
just
not
it
following
doesn't
through,
quite, I don't know
not
if
tying
it's
it
not following-
together.
It's just that it just doesn't quite mesh, right? Is like you don't. Yeah, it just didn't quite mesh, and so that was And then there was it was another thing where it was like, oh, these the metaphors, right, are not quite connecting. I don't know.
Was it media? Was it something that you watched? Was it Have Gun Will Travel? That's like-
No,
There- now
Have
there's
Gun Will
a TV
Travel is
show.
just direct.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, they're
yeah.
telling you.
okay, so April is asking, are
Or
there
the
any?
pit, like the pit where they explain. It's like, well, 5 out of 10 doctors are sued every day, or something like that. They all of a sudden go into like PowerPoint mode, and they do a little presentation in the middle of the story, the narrative that's going on, where they but it's just more direct.
It's
right?
a good thing that you were here when that woman was raped. It is a good thing because a lot of people a lot of women. We need more women to be advocates. That's right. We do need more women to be advocates. Boy, that's a huge hint, isn't it? Like, I think they actually came out and said that's a huge hint. Yeah, we're really interested. I can't wait to see the next pit. So April asks, are there any bands out there that you two listen to? And April, I'm going to tell you that I listened to Geese because I was forced to listen to Geese a bunch of times. And then I listened to the Cameron Winter, who's the lead singer of Geese. I listened to his album, his solo album. There are more than one, I think. And I've got to tell you that I like it. I like it the way I liked the Clash and the Jam. And I haven't listened to it again, though, for a while. But I really like it. And it's probably because my kid liked it. But, man, I really like it. I really liked it. I like it.
Yeah, and I know lots of people are like, oh, this is just, the New Strokes or whatever. It's just a hipster band, a Nepo band.
Yeah, and
but I don't know. I like. I mean, like analog. Recording on analog tape. Doing. Yeah, they sound. They've got references. And it's all reference to other stuff. It's like every time, the busboy plays a song, I'm like, oh, this is this is Van Morrison. Oh, you need to listen to Scott Walker. You need to listen to Tom Waits. This sounds a little bit like Tom Waits. So this is like, this song is like Exile on Main Street.
This one sounds like Gordon Gano talking.
Yeah.
Like
your Gordon Gano
it's
thing.
too-
I don't hear
too-
the Gordon Gano.
I heard it, but the thing is that I didn't listen to the Strokes when they came out. I didn't like that. I haven't liked anything recently. Like, I haven't liked anything since like I listened to the old 90s bands. I haven't liked anything since then. And I really like this. And I actually turned it on while I was driving to listen to it. Like, the only other band that I listen to, like, I turn on, like, sometimes to listen to music is the Digits.
And the thing is like, like the Saturday Night Live performance a while ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's like apparently very divisive. Like, some people are like, this is the worst performance on Saturday Night Live of all time. And I'm like, oh no, there are a lot more, and then somebody just did a list of all those, just awful like pop singers.
Oh, and I loved the performance. It was fantastic.
And it was like, this is a band. It's an actual band playing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's yelling.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, it wasn't I don't think it was sloppy. They weren't sloppy.
No.
And it's like it's freaking indie rock.
Yeah.
It seemed like
Yeah.
indie rock to me.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know.
There's like this part where he's yelling, "There's a bomb in my car!
Yeah.
There's a bomb in my car!" And then he, like, the third time he yells, "There's a bomb in my car!" He like kind of laughs,
Yeah.
and I thought it was just endearing. Yeah, I so somebody's asking, have you heard the Bobby Lees?
I don't think so.
We won't hear it unless our kid plays it.
So what I've been listening to lately, and
Yeah.
it's not any bands, is what's his name? It's a country singer, well, kind of a country singer that has the same name as an older country singer, but this guy was in the 60s and 70s. Now I'm doing a rose here.
Country singer, 60s and 70s, was it?
No, you
Oh.
you wouldn't know his name.
No, I know.
Jimmy Rogers. So not the like older hillbilly Jimmy Rogers who died in the 30s or whatever. There's kind of more of a pop rock and roll rockabilly singer, but he Jimmy Rogers, I don't know why I'm laughing, but at some point in like 1968, 69, he was arrested and kind of, or like picked up by the police in his car, but he had been beaten up, or he had head injuries and he couldn't remember what happened. And then it was like, oh, maybe the cops beat him up. And then there's all these rumors that it was the mob guy who ran Roulette Records, like he had been, asking, where are my royalties? And it's like, yeah, you don't ask the mob where your royalties are. And he had somebody beat him up, or it was he was drunk driving and, got banged his head or something. But anyways, there's a record of his that's doing, like 60s pop songs or like 60s songs. Like it's like the Julie London record I was talking about. I was talking about that, right? Where she's singing like Quinn the Eskimo and Yummy Yummy Yummy, I've got love in my like all the, it's like when the like early 60s or late 50s singers then do a record of like new standards, like Light My Fire. She does Light My Fire. And so this Jimmy Rogers record, he does a version of Both Sides Now. And it's, I don't know, I just love it. So that's all I've been listening to. It's just this guy singing Both Sides Now, because there's, you don't like that song, right? Or there's the Judy Collins version, but
How does it go?
Clouds. I know what Clouds.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't like that song.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
the hit
That's
was
what-
by Judy Collins,
Yeah.
but Joni Mitchell wrote it and then recorded it later.
Ah.
And Joni Mitchell, notorious for dissing everybody, but like was like, oh, the shitty Judy Collins version that basically made her famous, right? It's like just Judy Collins also did a Leonard, like, yeah, like I think a lot of Leonard Cohen, like Judy Collins kind of helped Leonard Cohen, sang some Leonard Cohen songs, and just in the same way that what's her name did Bob Dylan songs and dragged Bob Dylan on stage. It was like, oh, who's this creepy guy? What's her name?
The bald woman?
The folk singer,
Not Sinead O'Connor.
the one with the really good voice.
Oh.
Before Judy Collins, she's
yeah. No, I
she's
don't-
in. She was
She was in the
Bob Dylan's. Oh yeah, she was in the Bob Dylan. Yeah, she was.
Okay.
She was his lady
Yeah, I
friend,
don't-
special lady friend
Not
for a
Janis Joplin. I don't.
No.
That's the only other
God.
lady I know.
while. See, I can't even remember.
Yeah. Forget
her
it.
name. I remember Mimi Farina, which is
Good.
her sister, who's married to Richard Farina. But what the hell is the famous one? Folk singer.
What's the Bobby Lees sound like, Jeffrey?
There's
Let
gonna
us
be
know.
Like a 15-minute delay.
Yeah,
in
I know.
getting an answer from that.
Yeah.
But I also, one thing I did is I listened to probably about 50 versions of both sides now. Like Willie Nelson's done a version. It's like everybody's done.
Are
a
you
version
going to
of the
cover
song.
it?
I don't think so. But they, Dolly Parton. What else? Oh, it's just amazing how many of them there are. It's like everybody.
Joan
like even
Baez.
Joan Baez. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jesus. Wow. Can't even remember Joan Baez. I watched a documentary, like a autobiography or a biography documentary interview movie about her just a while ago. Can't even remember Joan Baez's name. Ugh.
We were exhausted. I cannot. I laid on my floor in my office today for an hour and a half and slept. So I'm sure I'll
Good for you.
yeah, I'll be awake tonight for an hour and a half probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like just exhausted, and I don't know why, but it's like kind of sick too. And I'm like, and then the other day you were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Nothing." And like later on, you're like, "Trump's gonna have his signature on our money," and I was like, "Yeah, that's what was wrong before." That's like just all trolling. Everything is just trolling now. And then
So my thought is like, yeah, that's bad, but it's like, okay, is it going to be on just the dollar bill, or what is it? What is he going to be?
the scary thing is if his face is going to be on the money.
No, it's
and they
just
can't
a
do that.
signature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I mean,
That's
they're doing a coin.
supposedly
They're
illegal.
doing a
Yeah,
coin with
I'm
him.
Sure.
Yeah, and that was the thing is like, yeah, about the coin with him. Did you see the design of the coin?
Yeah, I
Where
thought
it's
that
like
was
him,
a joke.
Yeah, and it was like the minutes or whatever of the Mint committee meeting. It was like nobody was like questioning whether or not there should be a Trump coin. They were all like, he approved this image. He's okay with that. Like all the sycophants, right? We're not like, obviously not. Oh, Trump can't be on the coin. They were just like, does Daddy like that picture? Has he seen this? Is Daddy okay with this? That was the main pushback when they were considering the coin. But yeah, my thought is like, okay, well, I barely use cash. In fact, I opened up my wallet and looked, and it's like I have 3 crisp $20 bills from probably like what, 10 years ago. It's sitting in my wallet. It's like I barely use cash ever, and then it's like, but then when I do use cash, is it only going to be dollar bills? And then I can just, when I see it, I can just burn it, and I won't be using that much cash, so I won't burn that much money, because that's really what's going to happen every time I see any money with his signature on it. I'm going to have to crumple it up.
You could
tear it.
redact it. You could just redact his
Redact it?
signature.
Well, I guess I could just scribble it out.
Scribble like with a
Wow.
Sharpie. With a Sharpie.
Yeah.
With a Donald Trump gold-plated Sharpie.
I was thinking just like those classic pictures of like guys burning their draft cards or women burning their bras. You know, it would just be like, that's every time I'd get one, I'd have to just sit there. I'd have to have a lighter with me at all times and just light it on fire.
Is it illegal to burn money? You're defacing money?
Yeah, I
Like
don't know
the
if
flag?
Is it illegal?
Maybe they'll make it illegal.
Well, you can burn the flag.
So many things have changed.
No, you can burn the flag like to dispose of it properly, like,
Oh, yeah.
but you can't burn the flag. Well, no, it's not against the law, right? Still,
Really interesting.
Did they
Like,
pass that law?
so today, one of the students are supposed to do creative vandalism, and somebody added some like hand-drawn letters to a sign that said quad, and they changed it to say quadrangle, which was really cute. And they taped the letters up there, and it was like on a sign. And then one of the students raised their hand and said, "Is that legal?" And I was like, I was going to be like, well, what do you guys think? And then I was like, oh, I'm the authority in here, so I guess I have to answer that. You know, like, I think it depends, right? So if you say, but, you know, Mr. Policeman, this is my art. You know, Mr. Campus Policeman, this is my art. My teacher told me we had to do some kind of creative vandalism. It's impermanent. Is that okay? You know, if it's not okay, then I just need to take a picture of it. If it's not okay, I'll stop. You know, I have to say that, but just play the art card because, you know, or you could ask for permission first. You could find out, you know, you could find the groundskeeper, the head groundskeeper, who's probably going on strike pretty soon, right? So, yeah. So you'd have to, you know, then I mentioned the strike and people were like starting to get interested. And then I had to talk about what happened in the Senate the other day, which was, you know, the chief of police trying to justify them not sending out
Justify
them not sending out an error or not, sorry, what, not an error, what's it?
Alert.
Alert. Yeah, sorry. I knew it started with a vowel.
Vowel.
See, that's like, not sending out an alert. And you know what we heard, on
There
the
was a
radio.
shooting.
Yeah, there was a shooting, mass shooting. 6
down,
people got shot.
down the street, but they weren't killed.
Yeah.
Down like in fact, a place I park when the parking lot is full.
Yeah.
It's kind
Yeah.
of over the train tracks.
Yeah.
It's
Students live there.
not on campus, but it's
Right.
right on the edge, and
Yeah.
really just over a hill is campus. But yeah, they didn't. Yeah, there was six.
They have giant parties
6
there all
people
the
got
time.
shot
six
and
people
at a
got shot.
party.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then the campus police didn't send it, and they. That's the thing. That's the problem. Well, I don't. That's not the problem, but the thing is that in the past we get tons of,
Yeah.
messages about shots fired. Well,
Man-
it's
man with a
usually on
gun. Somebody has a
campus.
gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody has a gun on the campus. Somebody gets shot.
Suspected shooter.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And then it's like, 6 people got shot down,
Down the
right over the
street.
hill,
Yeah.
right across the train tracks from campus, and no, we didn't hear anything. But
it was over by the time that we heard about it, right? Like this. So that's
so it was 2 a.m. It was in the normal police district, right? Not the university police. So, and then normal police don't release information until after they've done investigating.
Yeah, and it was really confusing. Well, they were trying to
And then
investigate
the
it.
Campus police didn't
Yeah.
know where it was. Like they knew, they had heard, there's a shooting, but it was like it took them a while to find out where it was, and by that time, no one was at the location anymore. Everybody's in the hospital and gone, and so it was like, do we send out an alert at 3 a.m? Because it happened at like 2 a.m, right?
Yeah.
Do we send out an
Yeah.
alert at 3 a.m, telling everyone that something happened, but there's no danger now? And it's like, yeah, they said,
They ended up not sending
Yeah.
out the alert. So people were questioning them, like, well, how come you didn't send out an alert? It's right on campus, it's near campus. And, even though it's not and like, oh, well, that's not our jurisdiction and blah, blah, blah. And then in my class, people were like, I was like, are you guys upset about that? And they were like, yeah, we're upset. I'm like, oh, good. But and then like I had to talk about, like, the police chief is like the sweetest guy. Like I've known him, like Aaron Woodruff, right? Is the
Mhm.
police chief. He's so nice. I love those people. Like just like trying to do their job, and obey the rules and stuff. And by the end, remember, like there was so much time taken up in the Senate, and then finally somebody raised their hand. A friend of ours raised their hand, I think, and said, maybe we don't need to discuss this anymore. Like maybe the bigger issue is that, it really sucks that people have guns, and like, maybe we should move on to our business so we can, start solving these problems instead of discussing something that already happened. But
boy, I don't remember that.
yeah, but but I like, so for all of the like little things that they made, like all the little, like I put marks on this, on this building, or I did this, or I did that, I like had to tie it to something, because and I try to tie it to the systems that we're surrounded with. So somebody did a knit up please thing. Somebody did like a crochet, like little scarf around a tree. Somebody
Mhm.
did that. That was really neat. But on the tree, and in their picture, right above their tree, their picture of their scarf, there's like a little tag on the tree, because all the trees on campus are part of the Fell Arboretum, and there's a tag on all the trees, and the trees that are on the north side of the campus represent all the trees in the north part of Illinois, and the trees that are on the south part of campus represent the trees on the south side, or the south part of Illinois, right? Or is it the
I didn't
region?
know about that.
Yeah, this is really, and I was like, so there's a whole system of trees here, and somebody has marked them all. And, you may be in a class one day and somebody will come in and tell you about this. It's really, really neat. It's another part of our campus that, is kind of overlooked. So I was talking, somebody else put like, a mouth on a candy machine. And I was like, so that, you're defacing a commercial property. This is where people go to. People are stuck here. Maybe, I talked a little bit about food deserts and stuff too. Like, so I got to bring all those issues into the creative vandalism thing, which is basically people putting pieces of paper on things with eyeballs.
That reminds me that it seems pretty clear now that they've confirmed who Banksy is.
Yeah, why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I
don't
didn't
wanna
read it.
go off
Did
on
you
a
want to
20-minute rant
Yeah.
or description of the Banksy
Oh, right.
investigation?
You guys can read it yourself. That'll be in our supplemental materials.
I just love the fact, so that's the thing, is the guy from Massive Attack's name is Robert, right? And then the guy who's Banksy is Robin, and they know each other. They're from the same town, right? And then it's obvious that they, like, Banksy hangs out with Massive Attack and goes to places where Massive Attack is playing and does does artwork, right? And that's why it kind of maps to the Massive Attack tour, and that's why everybody thought, what's his name from Massive Attack was Banksy. But it's like, and then some of the evidence was the guy from Massive Attack and this other dude who turned out to be Banksy were in Ukraine doing posters. So the guy from Massive Attack, is actually hanging out and doing some of the work. Or they're working together, right? So, but it's Rob and Robin or whatever, Rob and Robin, and so it's like, where all that confusion came in. I don't know. It was interesting.
April Smith recommends the new Rat Boys album, so we'll have to listen to that. And then, you were saying that people were complaining that Banksy just looks like a middle-aged white man.
Yeah. And it's like
they were like really depressed, really sad that he wasn't more svelte.
Yeah, or it was like, and it's like he's been around for like at least 20 or 30 years, and it's like 25 years, right? Like active, like, or known, and it's like, of course he's a 50-something chubby old white man.
He needs to do like the what is the pirate, the Princess Bride. He needs to like move on. He needs to give away the what would you call that?
It's like the Dalai Lama.
Name
too.
for that. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. All right. We're going to see Dan's CM now. Who's this? Yeah.
And then we're going to stop by and get our lungs drained.
Maybe we'll do it while we're there.
Yep.
All right. So look at Dan CM stands for Computer Magic. Look her up because she's got some amazing stuff, like a lot about synthesizers and stuff.
And then what's it? The synth. I can't remember the name of the blog, video, magazine
that she does.
Not Synth Archive.
Just look up Dan's CM.